But terrorism, 9/11 for instance, according to classical Islamic law, is classified as hiraba, which carries the death penalty. Well, jihad is not the same as a militant perspective. Jihad just means the use of proportional force, which exists in most cultures, just war doctrine. Terrorism is something else. Terrorism is the arbitrary targeting of the innocent in order to place pressure on governments, which is something that doesn't have origins in Islamic culture or ethics and comes out of the French Revolution and certain 19th century anarchist movements that use terrorism. Its adoption in the Muslim world is very recent and is an expression of westernization. But terrorism, 9/11 for instance, according to classical Islamic law, is classified as hiraba, which carries the death penalty. So there isn't really an issue. The problem is people in the West don't know who speaks for Islam, and in most cases they don't even think that they should ask. Islam has leaders and muftis and Islamic universities that issue declarations on these things, but everybody's very vague about what Muslims actually think. So they know about Abu Qatada or whoever, but they don't know what the Mufti of Egypt is saying about anything. It's pretty hopeless, really. But then Muslims can also misunderstand what's going on in the Christian world. I met somebody in Mali 4 years ago who was a bit out of touch, no broadband connection in Timbuktu. So he told me the leader of the Catholic Church is the Pope and the leader of Protestant Christianity is George Bush. That was his perception of the world and religion and violence and who leads the other religion. But really, it is the case that you can read the Times from cover to cover for a whole year and not be able to name a single Muslim leader. It's just not on the screens of the chattering classes in the West that they should tell people what Muslim leaders actually think about these issues. It's just not done.
Okay, any final questions? Yes, at the back.
Hi. You spoke a lot during your talk about the conflict perhaps between the secular Western values and some of the more traditional Islamic.
I know somebody in England who told me an extraordinary story about how when he was only 14 years old, living as a non-Muslim in a part of England far from me, had a dream of a beautiful man who wore a green turban and had a smiling face. And when this teenager woke up, he felt that there was still some kind of interesting fragrance in the room. And he read and he read and he realized that it was Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he became Muslim and is now Hafiz of Quran, even though he's a convert to Islam. How that happened in his dream, this is part of the alam al-arwah, the secret world of the spirit consciousness, strange things that happen to people in sleeping or half-waking states, and Allahu a'lam as to how that works. But in Allah's generosity, anybody, even the likes of us, can hope one day to be pulled with Allah's net out of our dunya and given something better, inshallah.